What's going on, JEROME homies? So the Minnesota Fighting Vikings interior offensive line really needs to step up their game Sunday against the Chiefs and Chris Jones, who's one of the best defensive interiors in the game, and center Garrett Bradbury has been missing time with his back issue, and at guard, Ezra Cleveland has been stepping up. Ed Ingram has been under fire quite a bit from fans, and we're all wondering, when is Dalton Risner? Come on up for the Risner, the $4 million man, the best free agent guard in NFL free agent history. I don't know, man. But when was he going to crack the starting lineup? He's been in the sphere for the last 3 weeks. He's up to speed. So when's it going to happen? And head coach Kevin O'Connell provided a myriad of updates on what's going on. Kevin Seifert, who is not Carl Gerbschmidt. Who's not. ESPN, go. No injury designation for center Garrett Bradbury, Kevin O'Connell says. Excited to have Garrett back. So that's the first piece of news. Fantastic. And even though Bradbury gets a lot of stick from fans, mainly because he was literally the worst center in the National Football League from 2019, 2020, 2021. Right. And players that generally play that bad get benched or get cut, but the Vikings had a first-round pick sunk in the Grim Reacher, the pride of NC State, and they stuck it out. And respect, Garrett Bradbury took a massive leap last year. The Vikings offensive line took a big step backwards when he had that back injury last year and was in a little bit of chaos and disarray the first couple games after he went out with another back issue very early in this season. So it would be fantastic to have him back, and Kevin O'Connell gush about Bradbury, said, quote, such a pillar of communication. Ooh, I like that. Getting all five of those guys and Kirk, there's a reason why we feel real comfortable when Garrett's out there, head coach Kevin O'Connell and Garrett Bradbury being back. And we said that before, because if you watch the game, like, subtly you'll notice that Kirk Cousins is the one calling out protections where when Bradbury is in over Schlutman. Don't get me wrong, Schlutman filled in fine. Bradbury is the one making those calls. So love his leadership, love what he does on the field, and the Vikings offensive line is much better with him in. And with the guard spot, Seifert again, more than likely Vikings will again start guards Ezra Cleveland and Ingram. O'Connell said Dalton Risner and or Blake Brandel could rotate in, as I get for Klempt. Is that you, Rona? But so Kevin O'Connell actually said this week that Brandel as well as Dalton Risner have been working in with the first team guards at both left and right. So I think it's a spot where, competition brings out the best in everyone. And frankly, Ezra Cleveland's fine. Ezra played phenomenally this season. Ed Ingram at right guard is the question mark. And Ingram's done some good things. I think that he has progressed, but the big time mistakes in big time spots, and that's where what it comes down to, man. And also, are the Vikings truly committed to get the best five out there, as Kevin O'Connell has said ad nauseum, or is it just lip service? And Wes Phillips sort of took fans to task, saying that narratives have been driven in about offensive line play, sure. But would you say that either Risner or Brandel potentially could be an upgrade over Ed Ingram at right guard? I'd say yes, especially with Dalton Risner. But the Vikings right now have 10 offensive linemen on the 53, rolling with Darisaw, Ezra, Bradbury, Ed Ingram, and Brian O'Neill, who have played very sparingly together this year. What a total 7 snaps, or however long Bradbury was in there against the Bucks. But we'll just go from there. And I think at a certain point, Risner potentially could get in. I don't see a full-on rotation. I don't think that's coming because chemistry and continuity is so important. But could there be a benching because of performance? Yes. And also the Vikings do have some solid depth. Potentially knocking on all the wood if there is an alien abduction up front. Also, you do have Chris Reed, who is eligible to come back off of NFI at certain points, so that adds more depth. But either way, I know that people are all fired up for Dalton Risner, but as of right now, Bradbury back is huge. Ezra's playing great, and Ed Ingram, he's on notice, and the Vikings do have options. And if Ed continues to falter in big spots, it's time. It's time to finally make that change if you truly are committed to getting your best five out there, but we'll see. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Head coach Kevin O'Connell provides some updates on the interior offensive line. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo, but till next time, Skol, production value.